Hi, everyone. I hope you can all see me and hear me. My name is Milijana, and I work at Brescia University College in London, Ontario, in Canada. So before we begin, I just wanted to say thank you again to Landmark Immigration for working with us, supporting students like yourselves in finding schools in Canada, and of course, for hosting me today on their YouTube channel. So I will be chatting with you all about what it's like to study at Brescia, what it's like to live in London and in Canada. I'll tell you a little bit about our programs, some of our admission requirements, scholarships, tuition, things like that. So if you do have any questions, please do post them here and I will try to answer them if there's time. Otherwise, any questions that you have, of course, can be answered by Landmark Immigration. So do connect with them if you're interested in applying to Brescia or applying to study in Canada as well. So as I mentioned, Brescia is located in London, Ontario. So before I tell you a little bit about Brescia, I wanted to talk about what it's like to study in Canada and what it's like to study in a smaller city in Canada. So I'm sure many of you right now are considering studying in Canada. And of course, you would know the benefits then if you're interested in studying there. It is considered to be a safe country to live in. Any school that you choose in Canada, university or college, will be a great school because most of them are publicly funded, which means they adhere to the same level of academic standards. So really any school will be an amazing school. Not to mention that Canada has amazing immigration opportunities for students once they graduate from their studies. You can stay and work in Canada and potentially become a permanent resident and citizen. Now, for those that are looking for schools in Canada, typically international students tend to look for larger schools in larger cities, such as Toronto or Vancouver or Montreal or some of those. But there are smaller cities that do have a lot to offer as well, whether they're in Ontario or other provinces. So London is a smaller city of about 400,000 residents. If you've heard of London, you may have come across Western University and possibly Fanshawe College as well. Fanshawe College is also located in London. There are plenty of events happening throughout the year in London. There's enough for students to be entertained throughout the year, throughout the academic year. London also has lots of parks and lots of nature trails. It is a forest city, so there's enough happening for those people as well who are interested in exploring the outdoors a little bit. Now, for those who are concerned about the work opportunities in smaller cities in Canada, London does have a pretty large education and healthcare industry, so there are a lot of jobs in both of those industries. We do have a couple automotive companies. We do have food processing companies located in London, other manufacturing companies, and of course, a lot of small businesses as well. So if you're concerned about work opportunities, there's definitely a lot happening in London. You wouldn't have to relocate to a larger city. And I don't know if I mentioned already, London is about 2 hours away from Toronto. So that's by bus or by train or by car. So there is Toronto is definitely easily accessible for those of you that might have family or friends there. Overall, all I can say is that London is a great city to study in, but also to stay and work in London as well. Now, a little bit about Brescia. So Brescia is a small university, a small liberal arts university of about 1,500 students. We are affiliated with Western University. And what this affiliation means is that students who are studying at Brescia, they're able to, once they graduate, first of all, their degree will be a Western University degree. While they're studying, they can take classes at Western University, participate in any clubs or events, sports teams, any study abroad trips, things like that. You can participate through Western. Now, however, at Brescia, our class sizes are a lot smaller. Western University has approximately 30,000 students, whereas Brescia has only about 1,500. So Brescia does offer the smaller class environment, anywhere between 24 to 29 students approximately per classroom. Now, what that means is that you'll receive a lot more one-on-one support from your instructors. You won't be just a student in their class. They will know you by name. They will know your work, and they can support you a lot more throughout your studies. And not to mention, after your studies, they'll be an amazing reference for you. So this smaller campus environment also allows students more time to connect with their classmates as well. It's a lot easier to connect with your classmates, to make friends. Not to mention, students just generally feel more comfortable in a smaller class environment where they can voice their opinions and participate easier in classes. So I'll get into chatting a little bit about our programs. We mainly offer undergraduate degrees. So I know that we have the name college in our name, the word college in our name. We are not a college. We do offer only degree programs through Western University, which is right across the street from our campus. So it's only about a 5-minute walk. So students get both that large campus environment and small campus environment. Apart from our undergraduate programs, we offer one postgraduate program, which is called a Diploma in Management Studies. We also offer, this is an 8-month program. We also offer a preliminary year. Now, this is a foundation year for students who have not completed their grade 12 or last year of high school requirements or language requirements to enter into undergraduate studies right away. So students can complete this 1 year at Brescia, and then they can go on to study either at Brescia or Western University or another university that they choose in Canada. Now, our school mainly focuses on the social sciences, arts and humanity type programs. So within those two, the programs that you can study would be things like English, history, French, of course, programs like sociology and psychology, which you can find on many campuses, programs like criminal justice, community development, family studies. And we do also have a business program called Management and Organizational Studies. So within this program, students can study accounting, consumer behavior, food management and marketing, and nonprofit management. We do have a couple of science-related programs as well. So those would be health sciences and kinesiology, and those are offered as a Bachelor of Arts. And lastly, the program that I wanted to mention is Foods and Nutrition. So our Foods and Nutrition program is unique. Not many schools in Ontario offer this program. So you can study a couple different streams. You can study just the general Foods and Nutrition stream, or you can study dietetics. So with this program, you will complete all the course requirements for entry into a postgraduate degree in, or postgraduate diploma in Foods and Nutrition, where you would complete a 1-year internship, and then you would write a licensing exam, and then you would become a registered dietitian. So that is one pathway for Foods and Nutrition. Another opportunity is to combine your Foods and Nutrition degree with a business degree. So all of these programs, for students that are studying at Brescia, the majority of their programs have to be on Brescia's campus. And then about 20% or 25% of programs can be taken, or classes can be taken at Western University. Like I said, you can take classes there. The last thing that I wanted to mention about Brescia that I haven't mentioned yet is that we are actually a women's university. So we are Canada's only women's university. And what that means is that we accept only female candidates for our undergraduate programs. So we do have a residence on campus, and it is only for female students. However, lots of students who are studying at Western University or one of the other 2 affiliated campuses, they can take classes at Brescia, and they do take classes there. So on campus, it is a mixed environment depending on the class, but primarily it is a female campus. The last thing I wanted to chat about is our tuition and scholarships. Tuition right now is for international students for first year is about 33,000 Canadian dollars. There is an additional approximately $12,000 for a room and residence and a meal plan. With that said, though, we do have a number of scholarships available, and these are either automatic, meaning they are granted to students without any sort of application, and they are based only on your grades. And then we do also have application-based scholarships where students would write a profile of their extracurricular activities, their leadership skills, and anything they were involved in outside of the classroom as well. Now, we do have 2 intakes. Excuse me. The primary intake is September. We do accept students for January. However, September is the best start date because of our orientation that happens at the end of August for international students. And not to mention that our courses and our programs are designed for students to begin in September. By beginning in September, you'll be able to take all those required courses in first year in order to progress into second year. We are still accepting applications for September 2020. And in terms of the application process, you would, you would need to contact Landmark Immigration, and they'll be able to support you with the application, gathering the required documents, filling it out, and so on. In terms of the documents you'll need, those would be your mark sheets, as well as your results from 10th and 12th exams. And for the English language requirements, we do ask for an IELTS of 6.5, which is standard for most universities in Canada. And we are now also accepting Duolingo, so scores of 115, among other English language tests as well. So I'm not sure if there are any questions. Let me just have a quick look. If you have any questions about other colleges or universities, generally speaking, I may be able to answer some, but you should direct those questions directly to Landmark Immigration or the school representative. But in general, students can receive a PGWP, a postgraduate work permit, upon application, of course, and the length of that will depend on how long you have studied in Canada. So you can find all this information on Canada's website as well, on the immigration website. For career opportunities during studying, so students that have a study permit to Canada are permitted to to work for 20 hours per week. So that's part-time work, which is more than enough because the rest of the time you'll be focused on your studies anyway. So there are some work opportunities on campus, but a lot of our students, whether they're international or domestic, they work outside of campus. And there are lots of opportunities for that in London for sure. Band requirements, I assume this means for IELTS, that would be no band below 6.0. We don't have a hospitality program, unfortunately. The most closely related program to hospitality could be within our food management program. If students are interested in that, please do check out our website for more information and details on that program, but we don't have a hospitality program. Any of the information about the specific degrees that we offer and things like that, you can find on our website as well. The tuition fees for bachelor's degrees is the same for all international students for the first year. The business program is slightly more expensive, so it's about $6,000-7,000 more. So international student tuition fees for first year are approximately 33,000 Canadian dollars. Now, as I mentioned, scholarships, it's very easy to, if you apply for scholarships, it's very easy to reduce that tuition by anywhere from a couple $1,000s to over $10,000. Just a couple more questions that I see here. If anybody is asking about the type of international students that we get, where they come from, we do have a number of students from India, from other parts of South Asia. We do have a large student population from China, as well as the Caribbean, and the rest of the students honestly come from all over the world, to be honest, from many different countries. So your class in Brescia will be very intercultural. It will be very mixed. In terms of in terms of how much gap is acceptable, there is no specific gap that we look for. However, depending on how long you've been outside of school and how old you are, you may be considered a mature student. So any of those questions, again, if they're very specific, please do contact Landmark Immigration and I'll be able to provide answers for those as well. Any programs related to biotechnology or any medical programs, we don't offer those at Brescia. Some of those may be offered at Western University, so I would look there as well. In terms of medical programs, though, many of you may already know by now that medical schools in Canada typically don't accept international students, or they accept a very, very small percentage. So it is very competitive for international students, but you can, of course, study medical-based programs for an undergraduate degree. Any co-op programs? That's a great question. Not all of our programs have a co-op built into them. Only a few of them do, or they have internships built into them. However, because we're a small campus, it's very easy to chat with your instructors and ask them for advice or for information about how to get an internship. Or you can get an internship yourself, and then you can ask the instructor if you can count this towards your degree. So Brescia tends to be pretty flexible when it comes to things like that. But not all of our programs have a specific co-op component, but a lot of them do have experiential opportunities that you can take through different courses. I think that's all the questions I can see here. So again, anything else, please do reach out after this session to Landmark Immigration, or you can reach out to myself as well. I'll be happy to answer any questions. So I wanted to thank you all for listening. I hope I've been able to answer most of your questions that I can see here at least. And I hope you've learned a little bit about studying in London and studying in Canada. And have a wonderful evening. Thank you again to Landmark Immigration as well.